What is your number one task today? What is your focus? What is your main focus for today? What was it yesterday? What was the most important task for yesterday? How about last week? What was your most important thing that you had to get done last week? What was your outcome? A lot of people have no idea how to respond to this. Most people have no idea how to respond to this, right? It's like the principle of getting one thing done. One most important task is transformational when you get it. It changes everything, actually. And so when you look at athletes, when you look at high-level entrepreneurs, when you look at people that are just high performers in general, the thing that they know that moves the needle the most is that they identify what is the one most important task that if they got done today, it would be a win, okay? And it doesn't have to do with all the things on the list, right? Ding, 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 none of that. It's actually identifying through the schmog that we have in our day-to-day of all the noise, right? What is that one thing that if I could cut through the noise and grab that one thing and I could actually move it forward, what would it be? That is the question, right? That is actually the main thing that you need to solve in your life right now. Is every day has a purpose. Every day has an intent. And it's a focus on one thing, typically, one task. And if it's a weekday, it's pretty easy to look at tasks like that. To be like, okay, well, let me look at my week tasks. Let me look at all the things I have to get done and grab one thing. But on the weekend, it's the same thing actually, right? We should be waking up with this excitement and this purpose and this ability to decide what is my one thing today? What is the task that I am going to own to cut through the noise? And if it's a Saturday or Sunday, maybe it's hanging out with your family. Maybe it's connecting with your significant other. Maybe it's connecting with yourself, but having a very clear decision on that and a focus on that will change your day, 100%. You have way more wins. Your brain will feel like you're progressing, right? Because that's a lot of what people say happiness is. It's the ability to feel like you're actually progressing in life. Because obviously if you're growing, right? You're growing, you feel great. If you're dying, you're dying. If you're not actually moving forward, you're just going down. It's either growth or death. That's it. And the decisions that we live in that. So when you look at your day, maybe right now you can decide, well, my number one thing is this. It's time to get this. It's time to let this land because it is that important. We put this in Evo for a reason. It is shown, statistically speaking, that if you just focus on that one thing, you will get more results because they compound. I remember when I was in my car accident and, I had a real estate company. I had all these things going on, people calling me, and I had my surgery with my arm and like all this stuff that I had to figure out. And I remember that I had constraints. This is a really good thing. And this is where I think you can really lean into your own situation because constraints open things up. How do they open things up? Oh my God, how do the constraints, because I feel constraints are tough. They're not. It's actually a thing that to me reveals, it's like the Wizard of Oz. You see the person right behind the green curtain because now you're like, well, I actually do have time. This task I have to get done is say 60 minutes. So I have to own that. I can't do anything else unless I do that task. You are revealed. Everything is revealed through that. And so it's important to really focus that time. There are countless books on it. One that I love is The One Thing, right? Gary Keller. So Gary talks about, yes, it's important to have one thing, one important task per day. And everyone's a little different, right? So like there are things that I'm good at that I should really be bringing and focusing on because I know 80-20 principle. Say if I get out there and I public speak or I help somebody or an influencer, then my message gets proliferated. So like I'm here to do that. I'm good at it. I need to step into that. I need to actually schedule my day and my life around that, right? So Gary talks about that in the essence of like find your one thing and do your one thing every day. Like what are you doing? What are you actually bringing into the world? And so it is sort of this emergence of two concepts, which is your strengths and like who you are and what you're naturally really good at, And no matter what, even above that at times, is there is a task sometime in your day or a focus that you need to give yourself time for. So schedule that time. Make it a must. And make it hard. Draw a moat around that. Be like, nope, you're not coming in this house. No way. Protect it. Protect it. Because, that's the only way in this world with all this chaos and all these things going on that we can grab the steering wheel. It's the only way that we can move forward is by owning our life and owning our day and knowing that we have a choice. If I have one thing that I get done today and then I make it a win, holy cow, I can actually get a lot more wins in my day. And when I win, when I feel like I'm winning, I'm progressing, that compounds and that stacks. And that just keeps going to the next day and the next day and the next day. We create our lives brick by brick, day by day. We create our days with this intentionality. We lean into what's most important to us. We lean into what is the most important task that this leveraged me up to the place that I want to get to, my vision. What do I look at in my day and feel inspired to do, knowing that this will move everything forward? And so this is the opportunity that we have, and this is the opportunity that I'm asking for you, is make sure every day you identify what your number one task is. No matter if it's a weekend, no matter if it's a weekday, it's a 24/7 thing. Actually, not 24/7, but 7 days a week, 365 days a year, okay? There are countless books, Eat the Frog. People talk about when you wake up, eat that frog. Do the most important task and the hardest thing first, right? That's actually true for a few reasons. One is, your brain in the morning is usually a lot more like disciplined, right? It's a lot stronger. As you wane on, you have decision fatigue. It's a natural thing, especially with all these stimuluses going on today. So the best way that I've found to do it is really bake it into your morning routine. Make it part of your day. Set it up so, you have your day, you wake up, you breathe, you get on your calendar, on your schedule, on your breath first before you get on anybody else's. And then create time, focus time to really rock that number one task. Now, it's really easy to do, but if you wake up and you're like, what is my task? You're trying to figure it all out, then the day's already slipping you by. We cannot waste the life that we have, the day that we have. All we have is now. So we have to be very mindful about the night before actually going through and deciding what is the task, right? When am I gonna do it? How long does it take? Why is it the most important task of my day? Why? So I put a sticky note in my bathroom on my mirror that just says, what is my most important task? Why? ? And so when I go into my bathroom, I see it, I connect to that. I'm like, okay, what does tomorrow look like? And that's been a game changer for me, especially as an explorer who at times I just want to have fun and go on adventures and not really think about tasks, as much. My flow doesn't have to be this like planned thing. And I will tell you that it makes a big difference for me to actually plan and schedule my most important task. If I do nothing else for my day, nothing else, I have to do that. I have to plan that because when I nail that, I feel like I've won. And I can do that early in the morning and then I feel like I can play more during my day. You know what I mean? I can actually invest back into that. So get excited about this because again, when you have less time and constraints, whether you get in a car accident and I only could focus on a few things in a few hours, or you're a new parent and you have a time constraint there. It is actually a really good thing when you have time constraints because it's easier to cut through the noise, right? It's easier. I think that's Cut It Out from Full House in case you missed it. But yeah, cut it out. Get rid of the waste. Empty your trash bin, right? Get rid of the stuff that doesn't actually add value into the areas that you want to add value to because what are you waiting for? What? I think it is just bringing it together and thinking about the night before and taking the time. Life is too short to wait. And so I hope this is landing for you, my friends. I love you guys and I appreciate you. Start in the morning, get your morning done by your morning routine and make sure that in that routine is this number one task. Then win, check off the win for the day. It doesn't mean that you can't do more things, right? But don't do the other things that are pulling you away or taking you away until you've checked off your most important task.